Hey folks, welcome back. Recently, Renegade Game Studios sent me the releases from the Embers of War story arc to review on my channel. While there are a number of figures and army cards I'm looking forward to exploring further, right now I actually want to talk about something else. It might sound silly, but the item from this wave of releases that I was most excited for was the new Valhalla dice tray, the first of its kind in all of HeroScape. Yes, I'm being serious. I was really excited for this. First, a quick confession. My friends who play with me know this, but I'm a messy roller. Multiple dice will end up on the floor as I flail my arms around trying to get them all on the table. Dice trays have become a must for me, and even then, they're no guarantee. Sometimes I can get through a game of HeroScape with less than a dozen dice falling off the table. Sometimes. In addition to keeping things organized, I like how dice trays can create an accord on what is legal and what is not. If the die doesn't land in the tray, it doesn't count. None of the chase the die around the room to see if it's a skull nonsense. Using dice trays does come at the expense of viable table space, however. With that being said, the Valhalla dice tray doesn't ask for much. At a fairly compact 6 by 6 inches, I found that I still have ample room for my cards and order markers alongside the map. It certainly beats rolling dice raw onto the table, at least for me. The Valhalla dice tray is made out of a faux leather material with padded interior, which has the added benefit of protecting your dice from some degree of wear and tear. Keeping my dice in good shape is a priority of mine, especially the out-of-print red and blue dice that I use for solo play. I've been playing this game for many years, can you tell? One of the most striking aesthetic decisions that was made regarding this product was the inclusion of the map of Valhalla printed on the interior fabric. I think this gives the dice tray a more sophisticated air, and it's really cool to see this artwork realized here. On the reverse is the glyph crest, represented in gold foil, a classy touch that unfortunately won't be visible during the vast majority of the time. Still, the added effort is appreciated. We've been spending all this time today talking about a dice tray, so I guess there's no risk of me sounding more like a nerd, but I also wanted to discuss the dimensions in greater detail. There are two choices that really intrigued me upon first glance: the height of the sides and the angle of the sides. Let's start with the first point. The sides of the Valhalla dice tray are comparatively shorter than the other trays I'm used to seeing out there. At 1 inch tall, there's only just enough of a barrier to keep the dice within the enclosed area. However, this choice has a noticeably positive impact on the visibility of the dice to all players. Your opponent sitting across from you won't have to stand and lurch to confirm your die rolls, something that they'll appreciate, even if subconsciously. The second point I wanted to bring up is the angle of the sides. These are comparatively steeper than most dice trays I'm used to rolling in. At what essentially equates to a 90-degree angle, these edges confer the benefit of less cocked dice. At least, that's been my observation. With sloped edges, I find that 6-sided dice can often roll in a way that leaves them unresolved. This isn't a huge issue in a game like Dungeons & Dragons, where the die type being rolled frequently changes. However, in a game like HeroScape, you're going to be rolling d6s a vast majority of the time. Less cocked dice results in less rerolls and less pauses in gameplay, a net win for the game. That being said, I did notice that the steeper edges resulted in more cocked d20 rolls, something that was previously a rarity if seen at all. This makes sense, as the shapes of the two dice are quite different. Naturally, there are going to be some environments that favor one over the other. If I had to choose, though, in a game of HeroScape, I'd far prefer to have more consistent d6 rolls than d20 rolls. Depending on your army construction and the length of the game, you might play some matches rolling the d20 less than 6 times. You'd be hard-pressed to do the same with d6s. So all of that is to say that I think this dice tray is excellent for HeroScape. One of my favorite accessories for the game to date, but we're not done yet. The package also comes with a d20 and set of 10 d6s, all molded in swirling gold acrylic. Let's talk about them, because I think my praise for this release comes to an abrupt end here. The gold on gold look of these dice might be flashy and opulent, but these are quite honestly the most illegible dice ever produced for the game. I can roll this d20 and be completely unable to read the results from only 2 feet away. How is my opponent supposed to see the die results if I can't even see them? Here's a quick test to show you what I mean. I'm going to roll 5 dice 3 times, and I want to see how fast you can tally how many skulls are rolled. I'm going to start with the first edition red dice, then I'll use the standard multicolored dice, then I'll use the new gold dice. Don't pause the video, see if you can do it. Alright, go! Here's one additional test. This is what your opponent will see from across the table each time you roll. Which of the following do you think is the most legible? Remember, hiding your die rolls is not a part of HeroScape. Your opponent has a right to see and confirm the results before resolving any actions in the game. So, unfortunately, I think these dice represent the 3rd miss in a row when it comes to Renegade's attempts at adding new dice into the game. Of the 3, I think the Utgar dice are the most legible, but even then, I think they only serve to slow the game down. The sole functionable purpose I could see these dice offering is allowing you to more easily play Soloscape if you don't have access to the 1st edition red and blue dice. One army would then roll the standard dice, and one army would roll the new ones. Beyond that, these dice sets are a novelty, nothing more. They really shouldn't leave the casual confines of your home games. Please, do the right thing, don't take these to tournaments. So overall, that's my review of the Valhalla dice tray. It's something great, paired with something kind of terrible. Lucky for me, it's the dice tray itself that I was most excited for. The dice that came with it were just an easily discarded bonus. I'm going to be taking this dice tray with me when I travel to participate in the Valkyrie Trials at HalCon in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I might pop back here and leave an updated review in the comments section once this dice tray gets a proper stress test. Anyways, it's likely that the next video I create will be a battle report of that event, so you can look forward to seeing that in the future. Like I mentioned earlier though, I still have a lot of figures from the Embers of War story arc to review, and I'm not really set on reviewing them in a certain order. What would you like to see first? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching everyone, I've been your host, RR Slugger, and until next time, happy scaping.